Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. Today we're at the South, we're at Le Mans. We're doing the World Touring Car 700. This is another one of your grinders. Today's car choice is the Suzuki V6 Escudo Pikes Peak. The reason we're using this car is it's just returned back to the Legend shop today after 9 months of absence. The last time it was available, I'm told, was in June last year, which was shortly after the time it was released. We're on Racing Hards. We've had to dumb it down. I'm only going to go through the changes we made from a default setup. So all I've done is reduce the ECU to 70. I've added 149 kilos of ballast. I've left it in the middle. I've reduced the power restrictor to 70. I've put a manual customizable gearbox in, but it's default set at 320. And we've put the high RPM turbo on. Nothing else changed. You can sit and compare that as much as you like, freeze the screen, but that's it. PP target 700 and we've got 699.94. We've bought all the tyres, so we can use any set of tyres we need. It will rain. So it's the 24-hour circuit, but we're not actually doing 24 hours. It's just a 30-minute race. Settings will be assists, transmission manual, traction control 1, default ABS, everything else off. We've got the game on hard, folks, not for fun, but because it's easier than easy and normal. It's a much more realistic race, and I keep punching them buttons and I want controller setup. There it is. Button configuration is open. Force feedback torque is 5. Force feedback sensitivity is 6. I'm actually running a display dash down here. It's not on screen because it was interfering with my sound and it was making it uncomfortable to record. We've already run this race once today, folks, and it failed to record as well. So I've ditched that for now. It's not interfering with me, it's my setup that's causing the problem, but I will refer to tyre temps, etc. as I go. So, let's crack on, let's get on with this race. Here we go then, folks. We're going to keep this in fuel map 1. It says 2.7 laps of fuel. We want 3 laps out of it, but we'll just have to manage the throttle a little bit as we get around this first lap. We want to be overtaking, so let's get our toe down. It's up to 3.6, that's great because we just coasted through that corner. Mr. GT86, just need to move your bottom as we come past Mr. Audi. No real excessive braking if you don't mind. No slamming into us, Mr. Cato, that's not really respectful of your human opponents. However, let's go round him. Excuse me, still got that horrendous cold, folks. So here we are at Le Mans. It is hot and sunny day, but we know it's going to rain, it always does. 30 minutes, we're going to try and do 7 laps. If 8 laps is on, we're going to try and push for it. But 7 laps with 2 pit stops will just put us inside 30 minutes, which should be about where we need to be. If we can roll over the finish line into the 8th lap, it would be tremendous as we go sliding into that corner. Tyre wear is going to be absolutely fabulous in this race. We know we're going to have good tyre wear. Brake balance is set to the front just to transfer any load to the front wheels. Might be a bit horrendous that in the wet, but we'll just have to see what it does. We don't use brake balance for sensitivity. We just use it for equaling out wear of tyres. You can do what you feel. If you think it works for you, do that. I know it doesn't work for me, so I'm just a club foot driver who likes to bang the throttle and go for it. So I have very little subtlety with my right foot. Let's see how we go. Up with the boys at the front. We are going to try and run wide and round them all. There we go. Slip past. See where we are on the fuel. 2.5 laps. Probably just a bit heavy on consumption, so we go up into 6th gear, we'll drop top speed, but we'll ease off on the revs. And the Mr. Mendoza in the Aston. What an absolute stunner. See if we can slipstream up to the back of him and listen to his engine. So we're in 8th place, halfway around lap 1. Fuel is looking about right. Listen to that engine note. What an absolute stunner. 6th gear, he's going to come past us again on the left hand side. But then we're going to change it down to 5th. 2nd gear, we'll go tight and just run him wide. We'll do the same here. So, 7th place. That's the end of the backwards and forwards with that chat. We're going to keep it in fuel map 1, it looks like. Pitting at the end of lap 3. Then we'll pit at the end of lap 6 if all works out quite well. Somewhere in all there it'll rain, folks, and it'll come from any which way. We've got no idea where it's going to come from. Here we go, up to Mr. Healy. See if we can position ourselves quite well for an overtake somewhere before the pit entry. I don't think anybody's going to pit on pit 1 on lap 1. The Van Halen paint job, if that was red and white. There we go, we just blocked him off a bit, but there we go. Corvette C8 and a what looks like a Supra and a Viper. Mr. Yamanaka, Mr. Portilla. See if I can use Mr. Portilla's strip stream to get a bonus on Mr. Yamanaka. There we go. Going to take him up the inside. What's that in front of us? Another GT86 kind of thing. Mr. Kawakami. Who's in first place then? Is that going to be a little very delicate Suzuki Swift? And he is a way off. Look at him. He's proper got it on. We got it sideways there and bullied what looks like, don't know what car that was. I didn't see the indication as we went past. I don't know what it was. Was it some Genesis type thing? I don't know. So there's the fuel tick down to 2 laps remaining. So we've got plenty of fuel to get us round the 2. Let's have a look at the rain radar and see what's going on there. There's no rain on there at the minute. 5th gear. 166. It's telling us to change. We change and we'll be saving fuel. 163. 164, that's good. Down to 2nd. Got our eyes on the Suzuki Swift, so let's keep going. Pushing on. Get a drink in. Change hands to change gear. That is one rapid Suzuki Swift. We're closing him down though. We are making inroads. 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes gone of the race. See Mr. Blazan. See where we go. I'm going to brake just on the apex here. He's trying to come back at me. Kind of had to pull him my way through there, and I kind of blocked him out of the corner just to hold him away to slow him down. No rain on the radar. Happy days. It's going to start to appear any time now, one would expect. Just keeping the speed up using 5th gear rather than changing it to 6th. just starting to be a little bit aggressive. We're trying to push the envelope to try and increase that gap. We know we've got fuel. We're 2 seconds in the lead now. No rain on the radar at all. It's telling us 4th gear for the next corner. Tyre wear seems appropriate. It's not massively ruining the tyres. We're not shredding the tyres by being this aggressive. Everything seems under control. 1.1 laps of fuel. I'm comfortable with where we are. We're going to run 6th gear at the top of the straights now on this next lap, purely to make sure that we make it back with fuel. We don't want to run out and be limited to 50 mile an hour until we get to the pit stop. Looks like we're going to have plenty of fuel anyway, looking at where we just got to. So 4 minutes 6. That is a happy lap. That's well rapid. I've done a 4:10 before today in this car, but a lap at 4:06 is pretty swift. Nothing yet, no rain, no indicator of any rain. We're purple sectored then, didn't see by how much, but it couldn't have been massive. We're not going to worry about fastest lap on this lap. We're just going to get it up to 160 something, then we're going to pop it into 6th gear and just cruise our way down the straight using less fuel. 10.7 seconds in the lead. Going to swing into this corner, braking as late as we can. Right then, let's have a summary of where we're at. I'm just focusing, concentrating. We're 13 seconds in the lead. We've got no rain on the rain radar. We're halfway around lap 2 and we've got half a lap of fuel to go. That's fairly good. We're going to drop this into 6th gear as soon as we get anywhere near the speed we need to get to, but we're not pulling out massive leaps and bounds on the cars behind. 13.8. Yeah, we're just increasing the lead marginally, but we're losing top end. We're pitting very soon. We're doing okay. We're on track, we're on target for where we're going. No rain on the rain radar, which is a surprise. We normally get rain within lap 2, lap 3, normally at the point where we're choosing to pit, and we can't see any. If it's going to be no rain, it's going to be a warm one. The crowd are going to be loving it. They're going to be basking in the sun. And we got rain from the right hand side. Here it comes. We've got no idea what it's going to be. We're just going to put slicks straight back on. We're going to use the same slicks. go into the pit lane. We've got plenty of fuel by the looks of it. We're going to take a whole tank. Let's see if we can do this properly. No change, and we'll take all the fuel. Need to top my drink up. God, that beep's aggressive, isn't it? Wow, we were. Tyre temperatures were front left 56, front right 54, rear 61 left and 60 on the rear right. Fastest lap of 4:06.870. Wow. We made it into the pits with 4% of fuel. To be precise, 4.3 litres. Here we are. Mr. Blazan has gone to the lead. But they've all come into the pits now, hards and softs alike. We're full and away. Nobody else is filling up yet. We're gone. Mr. Hayward is coming past the pits by the look of it. But we are some 1.0 seconds ahead. He is in our rear view mirror. So he would have pitted on lap 2, I would have thought. That means he'll be pitting at the end of this lap. That rain is coming in, but hang on a second, that rain looks like it's just hovering above us. It looks like it's not actually going to come anywhere near. It now looks like it's lifting and floating away. Happy days. It'd be a stunning race without rain. It would make it easy to challenge that 8 laps, wouldn't it? We're on lap 4, 15.3, 15 minutes 30 seconds to go. So if we can be anywhere near that bottom corner, we could be on for this. That rain's doing something a little bit sneaky, look. You can see a little bit of a digit of rain coming out the bottom of that cloud, starting to reach towards us. Really no idea what's going on there. That's quite cheeky. But it looks like it's moving away. That rain just threatened us. Didn't actually come anywhere near. So it looks like we're going to be something in the region of 20 seconds short of being able to complete the 8th lap. Or start the 8th lap, one should say. Let's see how we go though. No rain at the moment, so the laps are going to be fast. Until we get rain that comes in and gets us on the circuit, this is going to be an absolute stonker. We should be able to run another 4:06 lap, definitely. Something of that nature on the next lap, as long as there's no rain. Let's keep that throttle buried. Looks like we've got a headwind, or it feels like we've got a headwind. And there's the thing, I don't usually notice the wind. One of you guys watching has been doing some of the missions. And one of the overtakes at Fuji, he's been able to understand that the wind really does vary quite a lot, and it affects the outcome of the race, because you're unable to chase the lead cars down on the final straight because you've got this headwind that just stops you getting there. As long as you can get in the draft, you can get underneath them and use the draft to suck up behind them, but he says it's quite stunning, and he's given me a really quite in-depth and detailed view. Now I will 100% confess, I don't go into any major dissection of some of the missions. When I was doing the missions, I was just showing you how to do it. So I went out, attacked them all, probably blew through most within 2 or 3 tries of doing it. Never said they were easy, because they're not easy. They can be extremely hard. So 490, a 421 out lap. Let's see what we can do on this one with no rain on the radar. So those missions were potentially quite hard. We were only 12 seconds ahead at the end of that lap. Those missions were quite hard, but I never really focused. I just showed you how to do them, talked my way through what I did, and I didn't often look elsewhere to see any of the clues as to how difficult things were made, because there was only certain ones that really were quite tricky. Certain ones I can't do at the moment. There's two I haven't been able to do, but they're only drift missions, so I don't really see them as things I should need to conquer. But I haven't been able to complete all of the missions because I can't do those too. But I wouldn't say wind affected them by any means. However, where are we? Let's see if we can get the pace going. We're going to try and set a faster lap than a 4:06. Let's see where we are on the purplish sector when we get to the timey sectors. We're 30 seconds ahead. We are planning to make one more pit stop at the end of lap 6. We are going to take on a lap of fuel, and that, oh, we're half a second down at this point. That lap of fuel will carry us all the way through lap 7, potentially into lap 8, which would be stunning if we can do that. We've only ever had one car that's been able to reach the 8th lap. Getting that 8th lap's a bit of a prize. There aren't many cars that can do it. I wonder if the Audi would be capable. Totally different type of car. But with DRS it would be immense down here. But it would top out at roughly the same speed. 160 odd mile an hour. We just slid through there. Oh my lord, didn't we? I didn't really want to brake, but that's my fault. Yeah, we're 1.5 seconds off that target time now, but Mr. Blazan is in second place, the Suzuki Swift, 34 seconds back. We seem to have a bit of haze in the air. Does that mean there's incoming rain? Any incoming rain would be shockingly difficult to manage this late on in the race. It would certainly damage our attempt at the 8th lap. Wowzers. Still no sign of any rain, nothing on the radar. But it's definitely getting hazy. It's humid, I can feel it. .1 laps of fuel. Let's just remember that we should be, we'll fuel save on the 6th lap. 8 minutes 58. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get round and do the 8th lap, so it's going to be 7 laps, but that's fine. That was a 4:09, so that's still a decent lap. Still a decent lap. No rain on the rain radar. .41 seconds in the lead. No rain on the rain radar. It looks like this one's going to be a totally dry race, and you watch, the clouds will come in and just blow that thought process out of the ground. Mr. McEwen just went to the pits. We are going to be taking the pits very shortly by the looks of it. End of lap 6, which we're on now. Back end just wanted to come round there as we braked and turned. Have to try and brake a bit more in a straight line. We are just slightly outside that purple sector. Let's see how we're doing for fuel. 0.7. Okay, we just need to just short shift up a little bit. I've just skipped past it. There we go. We're going to short shift to that. Could have done that a bit earlier probably, but hey ho. Up to 6th gear, 46 seconds in the lead. Kind of expect to be about that point, you know. No rain at all on the rain radar. It's been exceptionally dry. Tyres are looking really good considering we haven't changed them. Tyre wear is pretty tip-top, but we are going to have to go for 6th gear. The wind is just on our side at this moment in time, so it's not really topping out our top speed, not like it did the other lap. See if we can get this fuel to take us home. As we slide through the apex there, that was my own fault for braking too late. But we're okay, 0.3 on the fuel gauge. We're not going to slow it down at all, we are just going to keep pushing. It's going to be 40 odd seconds in the pits, so there's no way in the world we're going to be able to challenge that 8th lap, which is a shame. The front end bit into the corner there. We just want to stop and take 1.2 laps of fuel. That's what we want to do. If we could pit stop in 20 seconds, it would be absolutely fine. We would be there. But we know that's not going to be the case. It's 30-second drive down the pit lane. There we are, we're not changing tyres. We were on 0, look at that. .6%, 1.8 litres of fuel. Tyre temps, 53, 50, front left, front right, rear left 59, rear right 56. We're not changing those tyres. Where's the timer? 4:09 remaining, 4:06 is our fastest lap. Well, we're not going to get that last lap in by the looks of it. Here we go, less than 4 minutes. We're 53 seconds in the lead. 1.2 and we're away. This should get us home. Let's flick to the rain radar to make sure we haven't got any threat at all of any rain, which is so unusual to have no real rain on the lap. Really quite unusual. But it will be a terribly smooth and terribly clean race, won't it, with no rain? We will be demonstrating just how fast it can be. The rest of the field is starting to pit behind us. Everybody but Mr. Hayward. Is Mr. Hayward going to come and take the position from Mr. Blazan? He is. Some 50 seconds behind, 49. I'm going to just whop into the cruise gear. Mr. Blazan has now left the pits. 46 seconds behind. There we go. Well, what can we say? We're on the last lap, folks. We've got this race won. It looks like 48 seconds in advance, 48 seconds out front. The car itself really gentle on the tyres. It's got carrying weight. The power is reduced because we've had to dumb it down to get it inside the limits. Front tyres haven't really worn at all. We've had no rain, which has been an absolute blessing. We don't usually get that opportunity on this circuit. Normally it's howling it down halfway through the race and we're fighting to keep the car on the track, but on this occasion we're absolutely charging. With that, we are absolutely hoofing it down here. I'm just going to be a little bit conservative. 1 minute 18 on the old I'm just going to check it to the fuel mix. 1 minute 18 left on the timer. 1 minute 10. Soon going to tick down to a minute. .101. Seconds. So do we think it would really be possible? Could we do it any quicker to get that 8th lap? Generally we've got 35 seconds to get to the end, and I don't think we're going to be able to do it on this attempt. If this out lap is a 4:21, it's been a fairly fast one, but we'll have a look at that. But we won't see that across the line, I don't think. 16 seconds. We're just going to get stuck with a penalty for that. But look how close it is. There's a half-second penalty as I just tried to clip those last two corners. But we're only 2 chicanes away from then the timer ticked down. So we're going to cross the line with a penalty as we drift it through. As we come across the line, there she goes. And there we be. Question is, will we win that clean race bonus? That was actually a really sound car, and that's back in the shop today. So if you haven't bought it, folks, that's one to go and buy. There we go. 50 seconds in the lead. Did we lap anybody? No. Our second lap was the fastest lap. The furthest car back was 2:54. Our fastest lap was a 4:06.870, which I thought was pretty decent. And we got the clean race bonus. There she is. 825,000. You do that twice in an hour, folks. Almost, because you got to stop at the start of the race. That will see you with a significant amount of cash in the bank. And there she is. Absolute stunner. Happy days. But thank you for joining us, folks. It's really appreciated. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing and all that. Happy to have you along. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. All the best.